What is it? Is that a capybara? Do they have those now? Hey, my name is Matt, and today I'm taking a look at your Minecraft builds. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I think could be improved from an architectural standpoint. So this is your current waterfront. It goes in like this. And then this is your capybara on your boat. He's just chilling. So right now you have some greenery that goes around the side. You can maybe open an entrance right here and then have a little extension that goes out here into the water. And then maybe if you wanted to add a bench like this so that you're overlooking the water. I think that would be a really nice place to, sit down, drink a coffee, do whatever you want. So I see that you have lots of seating over here. Maybe I would space it out just a little bit more, but I do appreciate all the trees. The greenery is always nice. Buildings look cool. The column here, not gonna lie, it seems a little bit thin, so maybe I would make that a little bit more thick. And if you want, so this is quite thin on top, so maybe what I'd do, let me draw it out here. So you have one building, and then you have your overhead walkway. So right now you have this column connected, which is very, very thin. What I would recommend doing is actually maybe adding some support underneath, and then you can connect it more, maybe down in arch shape, or even more a triangular truss right here, and maybe making the bottom here 2 or 3 blocks more thick. And then of course you're going to need your handrails as well, so add something on top there. If you want to just use glass, depends what style you're going for. And if you really want to beef it up, you could extend this truss up top and then connect it all the way on top. One last thing I'd like to point out, you have these walkways going all the way around. It currently stops right here, but if you take this line of bushes out, which is this right here on the screen, extend this, I don't know, maybe out here a little bit, you can continue this walkway out this way and maybe add some park benches so you have a little bit of space right in here, and then you can look out over the water. All right, next up we have this crazy looking building. So this is from the Build the Earth project. It is in Paris. You can see there's a line that goes straight there, which means it's going to guide your eye this way. If you had a tower like this with 2 sections, it's going to guide your eye this way. And then if you added another section on top, which kind of overlapped a little bit, this one becomes increasingly steeper. So it's going to guide your eyes up here and then over to the left, kind of at a focal point right here at the top. Look at all the columns in there, or mullions maybe, I'm not sure. And here's a close-up view. Incredible work, absolutely fantastic. Okay, next up we have some San Francisco buildings. I really love the look of this. I gotta be honest, I don't know what these blocks are, but I wanna zoom in here. Look at what they did for the escape. They used World Edit to put minecart tracks. You have all your bay windows. Really fantastic work. So one thing I might recommend doing, see this roof line up here? It is a little bit thin. I potentially would double it up, although stylistically, if it is really, really thin like this in real life for the reference you used, probably leave it. But personally, I would double this up. So instead of having something like this, I would do something like this instead. I really love the details with the stairs here. You used a bit of World Edit to have just this little corner here. So you can add a lot more detail in a much smaller space. So same thing here. These are just fence gates that are open, I believe. I like these trees too. The only issue I have with them is that it kind of blends in with the building here, so it is a little bit hard to differentiate. But trees in default, especially when you're not using regular logs, they are pretty tough to make, so I'll give you kudos on that. Here's a view of the back. That's really cool. I love that you, oh, is that dirt? Oh, that's cool. You want a dirt house? You got a dirt house. Check it out. Got all these backyards. Very nice little spot to sit down. Throw maybe a barbecue or something back here. If you wanted back here, you could probably put like a dumpster or something. I love the use of space, and it's not linear, which I also like. It kind of gives it some character. Oh, you do have dumpsters. Yeah, you're one step ahead of me. Yeah, just ignore me. You know what you're doing. Nice. You got lots of HVAC up top. You have your overruns for your stairs so you can get onto the roof. Some skylights. Yeah, it looks great. Next up, we have this plan by one of our curators, Eno. This is for a new residential area in his city on Cube Community, Oasia. Here's the plan for the neighborhood. I really don't see any problem with this. It looks super realistic. I like that you have the main collector roads here. You have your big highways, which is cool. And then your smaller neighborhood roads with all your houses on it. Even looking closer, you can see these brown paths going all through here. And then the green dots, I'm assuming, are trees, lots of green spaces. It honestly looks really great. You even have a school. Your highway interchanges are even so well thought out and planned. Like, look at this. You have all your exits, and I don't know how you're gonna build this. This is gonna be a ginormous task, but it's gonna look really cool if you can manage to pull it off. No pressure, right? This is by Eno. There are some other builders as well, but I believe Eno is the primary designer. You do have a one-way road. I love the use of bike lanes here. This feels almost cursed. The circle. How'd that happen? We got circles in Minecraft before Grand Theft Auto 6. Really nice modern building. Super cool. Lots of really beautiful buildings around here. And I kind of contrast them with these more corporate looking ones. Oh, look at this. This is one of my favorite buildings. All the orange here, look at this. And all the details here, absolutely incredible. This is a hotel, the Park Hyatt New Macquarie. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that, but it's really cool. check it out. So it does have a bit of interior. You do have a restaurant, and then I believe there was a gym. Oh yeah, there's this pool here too, which is really cool. Check this out. Look how cool this is. What a sweet view. Look at that. And you get to see this cool building right there. Is this the... Yeah, it is. So it's it's a little bit dark because of these shaders. But you do... Actually, hold on. Check it out. Look at all of this cool equipment. I forget who built this, but look at all these weight machines. Like you have your lat pull down. You have your bench press, which I think you can also use as a squat rack, which is why they have this section poking out. Let's see, what do we got? Is that another bench, I think? Very nice. And then look, you even have your dumbbell racks. Talk about attention to detail. Look at this. Absolutely fantastic. Your treadmills, your Stairmaster, very nice work. Absolutely fantastic. Back into the pool, so you can kind of see the city without shaders. I love the contrast, and you know, you have this old architecture, you have a little bit newer stuff, and then you have this like hyper modern, whatever you want to call it, but like these really cool designs. And you know, they're not afraid to play with colors, and I think it has worked very, very well. I just want to keep exploring. I don't want to spoil all of it because I know it's a work in progress, but look at this. Lots of great parks. They're all non-linear too, right? So it kind of curves around the corner. It just keeps it really dynamic and interesting. Oh, cool. You got a gas station down here? Nice. Oh, Alpine truck. I broke the Alpine truck. You got a Subway? Look at that. 7-Eleven? No way. Dude, this is so cool. I don't know what that story is, but it's really cool. Look how detailed this is. This is insane. All right, this next build, it's super realistic, and honestly, it's one of my favorite builds that I've seen in a while. So he said it was a postmodern building, and yeah, I can definitely see that. So it's this one in the back here. You can see the big arch. You have a lot of details on the street, and you can contrast that by having this relatively simple facade, and then keeping it, you know, somewhat complex at the base. I like that you have your sidewalk and then your crosswalk here, very clearly marked so that people coming out of the parking garage, you know, they're changing from a dark environment into a light one. They may not see a pedestrian. Crosswalks, good idea, thank you. You have these overhead sections, which can act either as shade or rain protection, which I appreciate. Here we go, we're looking up at the top. I love this beautiful arch. I think he said it was inspired by a building in North Carolina. It was the Wells Fargo something, but fantastic use of diagonals, especially trying to get these arches on the diagonals. Really, really great work. But yeah, really cool building. So thanks for the submission. Next up, we have Pearl City. I'm a big fan of this tower back here. You see you have the American flags. It's really interesting that you use TNT. I like the clock up top here. Let me zoom in. Lots of emergency staircases on the side. One thing I like to do with my buildings too. So see how you have this section and then it pops up by one block, goes across and then back. It's just a really subtle detail to make your city just a little bit more interesting. Really cool hotel here too. Oh, you're using dirt? Everybody's using dirt. Look at this. Dirt Revolution. Nice. I'm a big fan of the red lettering up top. I don't know what this is. Is it an advertisement maybe? And then this is the back side of it. Oh, wait, look at this. See how there's andesite walls that are blocking these out? So I'm assuming at one point these were windows. And I don't know, maybe there's some history behind this building. Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. Great job. All right, next we have this pretty cool city. Check this out. Big train station with lots of rail lines. I also appreciate that you have street parking along the edges. One thing right off the bat is it does look quite gray. So if you wanted to, especially down with your trains, you could add more, I don't know, maybe dirt and grass and, you know, kind of that like rough greenery look. Because I do see you have a lot of grass, but I can tell there's no plants or anything on top of it except for the trees. So by adding that extra layer, it's gonna make it come alive. So let me actually show you something about greenery. This is our section here. If you have a building and then say you have a street down here, this is a car, all right? Pretend it's a car. What you wanna do with your greenery is you want to grow it as it goes up towards the building. So what I would do is, first of all, have some greenery beside your road. Then you have your sidewalk, and then you can have a little bit of greenery here. Maybe have some small trees, and then a little bit further back, you can have your larger ones that kind of sprawl. But in general, you have small bushes, small trees, and then large trees, so that it kind of makes a pattern that goes up like this towards the top of your building. This way, you're never gonna get anything that's like this, where you have big trees and then it's kind of small, so it kind of goes down and then up. This just makes it a little bit more consistent. And also, if you have the sun right here, by not blocking the sun, you're gonna get more sunlight on your streets. Now, of course, if you're in a really harsh climate, it's really, really hot out, you may want to do something like this, where you have the trees that block out the sunlight. Sorry, this drawing is awful, but you kind of get my point, right? Cold climate, more sunlight. Hot climate, probably a little bit less. So I definitely apply this maybe on this sidewalk here. I do see that your streets are at the same level as your sidewalk. So personally, I would recommend bringing your streets down by one and having a curb, because if you have a curb right here, if your driver decides to veer off, their tire's gonna hit the curb instead of a person. If they're going fast enough, it may still, hit the person, but try to avoid that. Now, kind of the same comment here with the colors. I do like that you have the wood, you have lots of green in here, but it does feel quite gray, especially with the gray sidewalks. And then you do use gray and white quite frequently. Maybe change it up. Definitely keep doing what you're doing, but feel free to throw in some color or texture here and there. Here's the train station. I do love that you have so many elevation changes. That's really cool. You have this pedestrian bridge that goes up top. This is a really smart solution. So you do have the stairs, and I hope you have an elevator there too. But I do really like these V-shaped supports. That's really cool. But yeah, just remember to texture these areas. Maybe not necessarily in here, but definitely along the edges. And I would also recommend having a barbed wire fence either here or down here, because people can just walk over and onto the train tracks right now. I do see that you have some over here. So yeah, definitely do the same thing on the other side. Next up is this really cool city called Downtown Serenity. So I'm assuming the city is called Serenity, and then this is downtown. It kind of feels a little bit like Philadelphia. I don't know if it's what you're going for, but to me, it kind of feels like it. I've also never been to Philadelphia, so I might just be talking. But check out this skyline. Look how cool that looks. I love all these skyscrapers. There's so much variation. Lots of cool triangular shapes going on here. You have some curves, which is nice. I love the variation. I like the red brick. I like all the texturing on this one back here too. That's a really cool church. Look at all these cool buildings. Oh, I see a crane hiding back here too. Wow, look at this. Look at that train station. Yeah, these feel like New York-ish buildings too. New York, Philadelphia, kind of that area. I love the elevated tracks too. Actually, yeah, the elevated tracks feel a little bit like Chicago almost, like the Loop. Oh, look at that. Observatory on the left, public space, you got all the trees, very green, very nice. This building follows the shape of the water, kind of reminds me a bit of a wave. Lots of umbrellas down here. Oh, look at the anchor. Look at that. That's cool. Yeah, this is some very, very nice work. So thank you so much for the submission. Next up, we have this city called San Ezekiel. But if we zoom in here, look at this view corridor. This feels like New York on Park Avenue, Grand Central Station, and then the Pan Am building behind it. This feels like Soho or Tribeca in New York. Beautiful shops, nice open windows that you can see in. That's cool. This must have taken forever, and actually a lot of math too, I'm guessing. I appreciate on these buildings here, so you could have left this blank, but I'm glad that you did not, because it adds so much character on the side. This feels almost like a library or something, or some sort of public building. See how you have the other section made of wood, and then you kind of contrast it with all these darker concretes down here. Really cool. And look at these lights. Lots of greenery at the bottom, lots of human scaled elements. You have your trees. Glass skyscrapers are so hard to pull off, but you guys have done this flawlessly. Oh, aha, I found one thing that I can recommend, which has been hard to do with these pictures. I don't see any columns here. I do see that you have them here, but yeah, just remember to keep bringing them down. Otherwise, yeah, honestly, I can't really see any other faults. Another building, oh, this reminds me of one in Hudson Yards in New York. Incredibly detailed. Next up, we are checking out this city on Cube. So this is a neighborhood in the city of Everton by Rainey. We are in Parkdale. This is one of the more recent neighborhoods, and it's super realistic. I believe it's based on Boston, but it's really, really cool. So he's been using a lot of these cool textures and making a bunch of templates and then expanding them to other areas. So check this out. You got a bunch of cool stuff here. Lots of cool skylights. Don't forget your parapets up top. I mean, they don't have to be too big, but yeah, maybe just put, I don't know, maybe like a trap door along the edge here. I really appreciate what you're doing back here, all these cool backyards going all the way back. Oh man, these guys just, they don't even bother putting it in there. They just stick it right there. You got, look at this pool. You got the leaves in there too. Nice garden here. Check this out, some garages, and then you get an overgrown one too. Look at that. Take out your garbage, people. Mow your lawn, would you? Even the vehicles are really well done. I think every single one of these is different. Check this out. You got a pool table. This is one of the models in Cube Pack. And then we have this picnic table right here. Come back out, have a barbecue, kick around a soccer ball or something. I know Rainey's been working pretty hard on these trees as well, but look how beautiful these are. Absolutely fantastic. Great, great work. Oh, look at this. See, we have cubed graffiti, of course. Then an old couch. Really nice work on the bay windows here too. I didn't even know you could do this, to be honest. I love the variation in style as well. You have these different materials. And then you have a modern work in progress as well. Don't forget your floors. What do we have? Parkdale Gardens. It's pretty cool. Nice bench. Yeah, it definitely feels like Boston, even though I've never been to Boston. What do you got back here? Is this cool, like a wrecking ball or something? So cool. Like, even look at the side of this here. So it's not just one material. He's decided to vary it a little bit. Nice parapets up top. or not parapet, what do you call it? Cornice? Yeah, this is really, really great work, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this area continues to develop. If you're wondering how to submit your builds, join the Discord and add them to this channel. If you want a higher priority, join as a YouTube member and unlock the secret review channel.